The poisoned pixie sticks, the Candyman. Halloween night, 1974. The streets of Deer Park, Texas were alive with children in costumes. Ghosts, witches, superheroes, running door to door with pillowcases and plastic pumpkins. Ronald O'Brien walked with his 2 children, trying to look like every other proud father out with his kids. But his mind wasn't on candy or costumes, it was on money. By the end of the night, he had slipped 5 giant pixie sticks into his pocket. His 8-year-old son Timothy was the first to beg for a piece of candy when they got home. Ronald smiled and handed him the long, brightly colored tube. Timothy ripped it open and poured the sugary powder into his mouth. He immediately grimaced. "It tastes bitter, Dad." Ronald urged him to finish, telling him to wash it down with a glass of Kool-Aid. Within minutes, Timothy began vomiting violently. He convulsed on the floor, his tiny body twisting in agony, before going limp. The town erupted in panic. Parents grabbed their children's candy and rushed to hospitals. Rumors spread like wildfire. Someone was handing out poisoned Halloween candy. For decades, this was every parent's worst nightmare. But the truth was worse. Ronald O'Brien had laced the pixie sticks with cyanide himself. He had taken out life insurance policies on his children and planned to collect on Timothy's death. He even tried to make it look like a stranger's crime by handing out the poisoned candy to other children. Ronald was arrested, tried, and in 1984 executed by lethal injection. The press gave him a name that still chills parents today, the Candyman. And every Halloween, when parents check their children's candy bags, it isn't just paranoia, it's because of him. Cindy Song, The Girl Who Vanished, Halloween 2001. In State College, Pennsylvania, college senior Cindy Song dressed in a playful bunny costume, pink ears, white fluffy tail, and hit the clubs with her friends. They laughed, danced, and stayed out until nearly 4 a.m. Her friends dropped her off at her apartment. She waved goodnight and disappeared into the dark. That was the last time anyone saw her. Inside her apartment, police later found her purse, her cell phone, and the fake eyelashes she had worn that night. Her keys were missing, and so was Cindy. There were no signs of struggle. It was as if she had simply stepped out into the night and never returned. Leads trickled in over the years. Some claimed Cindy had been kidnapped by a man later suspected of multiple murders. Others whispered she had been trafficked. But no body, no evidence, and no answers ever surfaced. Her case remains one of the eeriest Halloween mysteries in American history. A young woman in a bunny costume, swallowed by the shadows, her laughter echoing on Halloween night, forever unfinished. The decoration that wasn't. Halloween morning, 2005. In Frederica, Delaware, drivers commuting to work passed a body hanging from a tree along a busy road. Some slowed down to look, chuckling at how real it seemed. "Wow, that's some Halloween spirit," one driver said. For nearly 12 hours, the body dangled there in plain sight. But as the sun climbed higher, someone finally realized it wasn't a prank. It wasn't a decoration. It was a 42-year-old woman who had taken her own life. The horror wasn't just her death. It was the indifference of hundreds of people who drove by, never stopping, because Halloween had blurred the line between fake and real. The story serves as a grim reminder. Sometimes the scariest thing about Halloween isn't the costumes, but how numb we've become to horror, even when it's hanging right in front of us. The murder of Martha Moxley, Mischief Night, Greenwich, Connecticut, October 30th, 1975. 15-year-old Martha Moxley was a popular girl from an affluent neighborhood. On Mischief Night, she roamed the streets with friends, toilet papering trees and giggling over teenage crushes. Around 9:30 p.m., she started walking home. She never made it. The next morning, her body was discovered beneath a tree in her own backyard. She had been brutally beaten to death with a 6-iron golf club, the shaft so damaged it shattered. The crime shocked the wealthy community, and suspicion fell on the Skakel family, who lived across the street, relatives of the Kennedy dynasty. Michael Skakel, only 15 at the time, was eventually convicted nearly 27 years later after a trial filled with secrets, privilege, and accusations of cover-ups. For decades, the murder haunted the town. Martha had gone out for mischief night, what should have been an innocent evening of pranks, only to meet a violent, senseless death. Her ghost still lingers in whispers of the privileged neighborhood that never wanted its secrets revealed. The Ouija board prophecy, Buffalo, New York. Halloween night, 1933. The parlor was lit by a single candle. A group of friends huddled around a wooden Ouija board, fingers trembling on the planchette. At first, the board spelled out silly answers, laughter and nervous giggles filling the room. Then, one of the girls, her voice shaky, asked the question no one else dared. How will I die? The planchette began to move. Slowly, deliberately, it spelled F-I-R-E. The room fell silent. No one laughed this time. The weeks passed. Life went back to normal. Until late one night, her house caught fire. Flames roared through the wooden walls. The girl never escaped. She perished exactly as the Ouija board had predicted. To this day, locals whisper the tale on Halloween, a warning that when you play with the unknown, sometimes the unknown plays back.